As well as all the usual hazards of a cold, wet winter's day at Wimbledon, you've got 75 pounds of extra weight in the back where we've installed our camera. How much difference is that going to make, Barry?
If it was pounds, shillings and pence, Nigel, none at all. But it is a problem because it's 75 pounds that's not on the floor. It's up high so you can get a good angle for the camera, and it's upsetting the centre of gravity of the car. But that's one of the hazards of motor racing.
Are you aware of the fact the lens is just peeping over your shoulder?
Yes, the main thing is they're going to hold a little sign out and say, please clean the lens. And when you've got to try and overtake 30 cars doing 80 mile an hour, it's going to be a bit of a problem. But we should have a big shunt anyway.
I'm sure we shall cope with it. Fine, let's have a quick look underneath the bonnet. I know that most fans always want to know what goes on underneath there. Without giving away too many secrets, basically, what is the engine?
That's the Ford Cortina engine, pre the overhead cam engine. That's what they call the Kent engine. It's developing 185 horsepower, and it's built by Mass Developments for me, personally.
And what's the nearest production car that we could perhaps compare it to?
The Escort 1600 Sport, or the Mark III Cortina, or the very early Mark IV Cortina had it in, I think.
So there's a lot of power, a lot of pennies been spent as well, I suspect. Yeah, right.
We don't talk about things like that.
All right, fine. Now then, track conditions today. We've got a very slippery track. There's probably going to be a little bit of shale on it shortly when the cars have gone on the infield and brought it back on. What about tyres today?
That's a problem. They're round and black as usual, but as you can see, we're running a treaded tyre today, so we don't aquaplane on what puddles there are here. So the tread pattern there does help us get a bit of traction. You know, I thought the camera might well help that, being 75 pounds in weight, but it's not actually. But, you know, we're waiting to see. We're back of the grid, but we'll have a go.
OK, thank you, Barry.
Thanks very much.
A rather wet afternoon, but one of the leading contenders always has to be 306 George Polly, the world champion in 1976, the British champion in 76, and he's won quite a few other things since then. From Heathfield down there in Sussex, got himself a good position on the second row of the grid. That's George Polly, car number 306. The man who we saw pull off a spectacular win at Ipswich back in the summer, the world champion, made the journey over from Northern Ireland, car number 962, Ormond Christie. And right back, about 5 or 6 rows back, we've got the man who has got the camera fitted inside the car today, the man who started off as European Rallycross champion and then gave up and came over to hot rod racing, and since then has won just about every award in the business. He was the world champion in 1973, 74, 77 and 78, the European champion in 74 and 75. And there's the shot that we're hoping you're going to get in a few minutes from inside the car, the camera mounted alongside Barry Lee's shoulder, and he'll be bringing us commentary and pictures as they go around. The aerial on the roof, Barry a little concerned, as you saw, about the weight of that camera mounted in the back there. It is fairly high up, and it has added 75 pounds, which is something he can well do without, especially as he hasn't got that good a position on the grid. But here they come, the warming up lap now nearly complete. The control car pulls away, and we're on our way for the British Drivers' Championship. And right into the lead, it's Ormond Christie, 962. Ormond, of course, doesn't spend very much time driving in England, only comes over a few times a year, and doesn't know the track anything like as well as the local drivers, but he's taking maximum advantage of that front row position, put up the fastest time in practice, and now he really is roaring away. Second place is 88, Chris Griggs, and third place, just to confuse you, is another car with the same number, 88, but that is Peter Grimer from the Midlands. So the two 88s are second, second and third. Chris Griggs in the front one of those two, and Peter Grimer. But it's 962, Ormond Christie, the reigning world champion from Northern Ireland, who is the leader. Car number 563, Mickey Hall, is in fourth place, just behind the two 88s. Then comes 16, Steve Dance, and behind him we go back to 128, former European champion Pete Winston, and then 98, Nigel Murphy. That's the leader just gone through. This is the rest of the pack. Second, third, fourth and fifth. 88, Chris Griggs. 88, Peter Grimer. But there's the world champion just going through the picture, and trouble down there for car number 6, Graham Holmes from Robertsbridge. He, I'm afraid, is now out. That Toyota-bodied, Ford-powered car with the gold roof denoting the World Championship title well in front at the moment. There's the battle for second and third place. 88, Chris Griggs. Then 88, Peter Grimer. 563, Mickey Hall just moving up on the inside there now. And there we are. That's the view from the camera inside Barry Lee's car. The lens already getting a bit spattered with mud. And there he is, coming up to pass the 21 car of Pete Chambers. Can't quite get past. On come the brake lights of the car in front as he just touches them coming into the turn. Track conditions really are very slippery. There's been a lot of rain, but it only takes a little bit of the shale from the speedway track to get on there and cause problems. You see Barry Lee hanging onto that steering wheel, little twitches there to keep it in line. But up front, it's still Ormond Christie in 9.62 is the leader. And he's opened out quite a lead now. 5.63, Mickey Hall is second, but that's the man who's up front. He was telling me before we started, it's only the fourth time, in fact, that he's driven on this track, and the last occasion was, I think, more than a year ago. There's Barry Lee, still some way back, I'm afraid. Trying to get past the 110 Roy Cook car. 57, Alan Dent is tucked in behind him. World champion with that plastic screen fixed to the front of the bonnet to try and deflect a little of the spray, a little of the muck that comes up into the driver's eyes. Goggles don't tend to be a great deal of use because they very quickly become obscured. And he really is flying, there's no doubt about that. Right around the 95 car of Andrew Dance from Reading. And in fact, he waves him through now. Well, he surprised us all last year at Ipswich when he came over and took the world title back to Northern Ireland. And he's going very well as we come towards the halfway stage now in this 30-lap event for this British Drivers' Championship. Picking off the back marker cars one by one. Still 9.62, 5.63, Mickey Hall is second. Then come the 2.88s, Peter Grimer and Chris Griggs. Then the 16 car of Steve Dance. Then 1.28, Pete Winston. 98, Nigel Murphy. Then 3.51, Barry Lee. And 57, Alan Dent. As Ormond just flicks it out wide to go past another of those slower cars. That's the car of 14, Colin Facey, I think. There's 5.63, Mickey Hall, who has just gone down in fact to third place. 88 is now up to second. So it's 9.62. Barry's now managed to wipe the lens, and there's a lovely shot from that 3.51 Barry Lee car going up on the outside of 98 Nigel Murphy, just trying to get past him there, getting a little getting the back wheels out on some of the loose. There's 9.62. In fact, now he's coming right alongside the leader. He's been lapped by the leader. That's Ormond Christie just in front of him, and in fact Barry moving up past him, just clipping the lead car as he goes past. So it's 9.62, Ormond Christie, the laps ticking away, 23 laps have gone. 5.63, Mickey Hall is still second, 88, Peter Grimer is third, 1.28, Pete Winston is fourth, 16, Steve Dance is next, then comes 98, Nigel Murphy, and 3.51, Barry Lee. There's Barry trying to ease his way past some of the slower cars on the inside of the track, but of course he has now been lapped by the leader, trying to get past the 401 Leon Smith back marker car. And there's the lead car, in fact, right up behind Barry. Barry taken it back now, so he's just exactly one lap behind. Inside the closing stages now, 4 more laps to go. There's 5.63 in second place, with 88, Peter Grimer right behind him. So we've got a bit of a scrap for this second place now. The lead is pretty clear at the moment, with Ormond Christie out in front, but it's Mickey Hall on the left there in 5.63, and Peter Grimer right behind him. The third car in there, in fact, is a back marker. 3 more laps to go. There'll be 2 coming up this time. Still 9.62, world champion Ormond Christie in the lead. And these two in second and third. Mickey Hall in 5.63 and Peter Grimer in 88. Again, Peter Grimer at a slight disadvantage over Mickey Hall. Peter Grimer spends most of his time racing in the Midlands on the Hensford Raceway, whereas Mickey Hall, of course, drives a lot down here in Wimbledon. Mickey Hall, a London driver, knows his way around this track. Inside the closing lap now for the lead car. This is second and third. There's the leader, trying to get past the back marker, Barry Lee. But Ormond Christie is there. He's come over once again from Northern Ireland and shown the rest of the lads the way around. In fact, he's showing Barry Lee the way around, nudging at the back there. Over the line he goes, 9.62. World champion Ormond Christie adds another title. These two battle it out for the second place. It looks as if it's going to be Mickey Hall on the line. 5.63 gets there to take second place. Mickey Hall, the London driver, and third man home from the Midlands is car number 88, Peter Grimer.